Hey, this is Michelle, and you're listening to Words with Michelle, the podcast, a show where I sit down and have conversations with influencers on a range of topics, anything from natural hair, employment, discrimination, food, relationships, and everything in between. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. If you want to send me an email, hit me up at michelle@wordsmichelle.com. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Words with Michelle, the podcast. I appreciate you. In this week's episode of Words with Michelle, I sit down with Martina Mbadinga, one of the three powerhouse founders behind Hey Black Girl, which is a Black-led, feminist, and climate-conscious nonprofit organization committed to advancing equity for Black women and Black gender-diverse communities. The other founders are Angela Uma and Tanaka Chitanda. I've been following them online for years, and I'm happy that I get to speak to one of the founders behind the organization. In our discussion, we talk about what it means to truly show up for Black women through mentorship, sisterhood, and unapologetic joy. Martina shares how Hey Black Girl started as a passion project and grew into a movement, helping Black women feel seen, supported, and celebrated in real time. If you've ever needed a safe space, a hype crew, or a gentle push forward, this episode is for you. But before I start the interview, I wanted to apologize for the sound in a few portions of this interview. I unfortunately had some issues recording, and in a few areas during the interview, the sound is not 100%. It is still clear, but I wanted to have full transparency. So to start the show, I asked Martina to provide a brief bio. Thanks for being on the show, Martina.
So my name is Martina. I am one of the three co-founders of Hey Black Girl. About myself, I am Congolese, born and raised. I moved to Canada at 18, right after high school. But I moved here for school. I went to York University where I did my undergrad, Bachelor of Arts in Law and Society and African Studies because as an African, I wanted to kind of see how are they teaching about our culture here? What is the perspective of like learning about African studies from the outside and what exactly is it about? Which was interesting. I currently work in insurance within the claims department. So far, it's going great. Can't complain. So hoping to make a full career out of that. But in terms of Hey Black Girl, so myself and Angela actually went to high school together. So we've known each other since we were like 13, I want to say.
Wow.
Yeah, so she moved here before me. Last 2 years of high school, I went to South Africa where I finished high school. In South Africa, the school year is a bit different. So I had missed the period of like coming into Canada in the fall. So I just came later. So having her here helped immensely because I moved by myself. My parents didn't come with me. So coming to a new country all alone with your 12 luggages at the airport, having one person there at least to welcome you was fantastic. So we already had that, bond and sisterhood, having known each other most of like our life. And then we met Tanaka within a year of being in Canada. And we just clicked. I think the three of us kind of had like similar backgrounds and similar ideologies. And the energy that we had amongst ourselves, the safe space that we created, the community, the support system that we had, we felt like was missing. When you come to a new country by yourself, you don't necessarily have that village, that, okay, let me call mom, let me pull up to the house and have a quick, maybe Sunday dinner with my parents. We didn't have that. So any sort of support that we required, we relied on each other for everything. Financial help, mental help, like any sort of like advice was just between ourselves. And chatting with our friends and just people around us, it became very evident that there was a need for a space where we could just gather and, support each other, offer advice and whatnot. So we just did a test out to see, hey, let's do a call out on Instagram and see if there's anyone who feels like they're missing a community. And come to find out there is. So we literally, that's how it came to be. We wanted to extend whatever we had created for ourselves within our little group to other Black women in our community. We already know how hard it is to do anything, really, any especially in the professional space, how it is to thrive, the microaggressions. Sometimes you just need somewhere to like unload. But where do you do that, right? If you're in a space where there's no one that looks like you, that's in any sort of like higher positions, where we could just share any ideologies as to like how can we uplift one another in this space that we find ourselves in, right? So that's really our main goal at Hey Black Girl, to bridge the gap, particularly for young women who are coming up, from either high school or university or any sort of education branch, or even if an education branch is not for you, but you're looking to level up either personally or professionally. We want to create a space where you can do that, right? If we can bridge the gap between like those who are experts in their field and where you currently are, then that's already a win in our book, right? We want to see each other win. There's no point of, if I'm up there, I want you to come along with me. So how do you do that? Community. Let me hold your hand and like show you the steps to get there. So I think, it's been about 6 years now of Hey Black Girl, of us doing this, creating workshops, anything that we can in terms of like any job postings that are out there, sharing it with our people, offering them the direct application links, just providing all the information that might be a bit difficult, is all we're about. So it's truly about seeing our people win, seeing ourselves win, seeing ourselves in positions of power, and we all need help along the way. So if we can contribute to your success story, then why not?
When did it start? So it started in 2019 then?
Yes, so the idea started in 2019, and we incorporated ourselves in September of 2019, because we thought that, you know what, let's actually put this on paper. Let's see what we can come up with to certify this idea that we have. Let's reach out to like government organizations. Is this actually something? Is this something that makes sense? Something that can be practically applied to the community? And, we've been blessed thus far that well, let me not say any, some of the applications that we've put through, there is someone on the other side that sees the vision. They see the need to uplift our community in all the programming that we're providing. So yeah, it will make it 6 years this year of us putting in the groundwork, trying to create something that's tangible, and I want to say even a legacy really in the long run. Because like now when I have conversation with folks and they're like, "Oh, you're from Hey Black Girl. I've seen you guys on Instagram. I'd love to know more." And I'm like, yes, impact. It's working.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think it's the name too. I love the simplicity of your name. What brought about the name? I love the name.
So it was kind of a mixture of many different things. So I have a little sister, and one of my sisters, I used to call her Hey Black Child, as a way to just kind of like bring her down to like, hey, let talk to me one on one, like how are you feeling type of thing. And
Mm.
us just playing around with it, we're like, okay, we really want something that stands out, but that's not too cliche. And we're like, okay, well, what about Hey Black Girl? It's as simple as that, because I'm quite literally greeting you, my fellow Black girl, and inviting you into the space. I think the simplicity of our name makes it stand out, because it's quite literally in the name already what we do and
Yeah.
what we want from you, right? It's not, obviously, we're all for uplifting and women empowerment and whatnot, but we really wanted something simple in the name that is not too much pressure or too flashy. So yeah, it was literally just playing around with words to be like, hey, how does that work? Or hey, Black, or hey, girl. So we really looked up to like organizations like Black Women in Motion, and looking at the work that they do, the name amplifies what they're already doing, right? Or like
Yeah.
Relevant, like the name makes sense in terms of what you're representing. So I think those are a few things that kind of like we played around with to see, okay, what fits and what sticks. And HBG came to be.
Yeah, I love it. I totally love the name. At Hey Black Girl, they support several causes. I asked Martina about her work with menstrual equity.
So menstrual equity is one of our pillars at HBG, because we believe in menstrual education. I think because we all come from different cultures and different backgrounds, so we know what it's like to come from a space where having access to menstrual products is not an easy thing. For example, here, if I enter a bathroom, there is like the machine where I put my $1 coin or whatever, and I get that. I have never seen that back home. So it's
Really?
not, no. So I think we kind of understood that there is a need. Fair enough, we live in Canada where, we have a government that somewhat respects women, respects menstruators in general. So there's certain steps that have been taken in that direction, but more can be done. I think menstrual equity in general as a subject, there's a lot of stigma associated with it as something that should be like hidden or something that's like secretive. But we don't believe in that. We think menstruating is normal. It should be a conversation that we're having at all stages of lives, not just within like women's circles, but with all folks, right? So for us, it's really trying to find avenues as to how can we contribute to this issue, finding ways, finding avenues that we can support those who are experiencing, for example, homelessness. How can I help you in this moment? Because this is a matter that you have to deal with every single month. It's not something you can control. So us finding avenues, partnering up with like different organizations, looking into reusable products, something that's a little bit easier for some folks. But I think mainly just encouraging conversation. We really want to make it something that's a normal discussion at all stages. Growing up, it was not a discussion. I remember when I first had a period, it was very much my mom and I in the bathroom whispering. It was like, don't tell anybody, make sure when you're taking off your pad, you don't make too much. No, it was very, this is
Wow.
a you thing, right? And I think that impacted me in the long run negatively because even now, up to today, if I'm in the bathroom and I need to change a pad, I will cough so that whoever is in the next stall
Wow.
can't hear it. Yeah, but then from our perspective, we're like, well, if you have open discussions about like what a period is prior to a period arriving, then the stigma and the fear, or I would say like the nastiness surrounding the topic is removed, right? So we really want to invest in that, and partnering up with like any organization that provides, or I should say businesses that provide menstrual products is a big win for us because we know how expensive period products are in general. Prices are forever increasing. So if I can remove this burden, a little bit of that burden from someone, why not, right? It goes a long way. And even from conversations that we have with folks who attend any of our workshops, for example, we had a menstrual equity workshop this past weekend. That conversation is even like, thank you so much for this because sometimes, I don't necessarily have the means each month to buy pads or to buy tampons.
Mm.
By providing me a reusable option, I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that specific bill for the month. So it's like, okay, then we can see there's more that can be done. Um, yeah, it's really, I could talk about menstrual equity all day, truly. It's really,
Honestly, okay. I mean, this is so interesting to me because I mean, there's an age difference between you and I, and the fact that you said there's still a stigma, it just freaks me out because I'm thinking, yes, there was a stigma when I was stigma. We didn't really talk about it, but
Mhm.
I'm just shocked that because it seems pretty much out in the open. Because I mean, I've fully talked about the period and whatever before my fibroids surgery, mind you, before I definitely spoke about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm shocked that it's like this little mystery, like we were saying about you and your mom, like you still cough before you whatever, and it's so funny because we're all women, we're in the washroom, you know what I mean? So it's funny, like
Yeah.
I think it's funny. Funny is probably not the right word, but it's kind of like it's a little surprising. Yeah, like you said, we can go to the washroom. Like in one of my old places I worked, there was a basket of pads and anything that you needed, right? So
And even now, like I think it's all to do with like cultural upbringing. I think that plays a big part. So for
okay.
me personally, like my mom was raised by her aunties and like, her a lot of male figures in her life as well. So they also, again, that wasn't a topic of conversation. Of course, that like bleeding occurs, but no one really takes the time to explain why it's happening do.
Okay.
So I can see how like it's being passed down from generation to generation. Whereas for me, it was like, well, by the time I had a period, I somewhat knew about period, but I wouldn't want that for the next generation. I would want you to know what it is and let's talk about it openly as a family, as a community. It should not be something that is between you and mom or you and whoever is your parent. It's not, let's not make a whole, it's normal. It happens and
Yeah.
let's be comfortable in those conversations. So yeah, we're trying to do as much as we can. But as much as we have workshops here in Canada or even in Toronto, we also think about like where we come from, right? So that's why we did the initiative in Zimbabwe, because it's important to give back. As much as you're doing excellent work in your community here, I can't help but like do the compare and contrast of like where we come from, right? Like you mentioned, in your office space, you have a whole basket and it's lovely. I can't tell you if I've ever seen that anywhere back home. It's not a thing. So just
Okay.
thinking about like, okay, well, I'm already in a position of privilege where I live abroad. I have a salary. I have a roof over my head. I'm able to afford certain things for myself, but there's someone else in, even the same age or just living a different life that's not able to do that. So giving back to those communities, then why not? It's very important that I think we uplift the voices that raised us to be who we are today.
Yeah. So we mentioned like the menstrual equity as one of the pillars. What would be some of the other pillars that are associated with your organization?
For us, it's by women, for women. Everything that we do, we want to have women, particularly Black women, represented in those spaces. I think if I use a corporate example, it's very difficult at times to find someone who's in a similar field as you, that looks like you, that understands and can also assist you to get there. I think being able to visually see someone who is like, okay, this is the CEO of like
Mm.
TD in the downtown branch. Wow, I didn't even know. Like, I want to talk to you. I want to know, what did you do to get there so I can also do the same thing. Like I know, so we always talk about like the importance of representation. It helps
Yep.
you also be able to visualize yourself and dream of the many possibilities that you have. Your current situation that you are in right now, it could be that you're in high school or you're in whatever stage that you're at, does not determine where you will be. So I think having someone who you can see is in that space that you want to be in is inspiring. It's generally what we want to do. One of our other pillars is we want to be an environmentally friendly organization, and that ties very well with like our menstrual equity, because all the products that we distribute or the businesses that we partner up with are recyclable. We want to make sure that we're contributing to our planet as well. We only have this one Earth, and I'm of the belief that everyone has a part to play in it, despite what other opinions might say out there. Our Earth
Mm.
is dying, right? So if we can contribute to it in one way or another in terms of like the practices, and that goes down to even like the workshops or anything that we do, instead of like, I don't know, we'll do it online and we'll choose a space that's kind of like friendly, environmentally friendly, and also accessible to all. Just trying to think of like what are the ways that we can contribute to better our environment.
Great. Um, so how do you assist then? Is it just provide workshops? How do you assist girls or sorry, females?
So we do workshops. So we have two incubator programming. So we had our fellowship where we were blessed enough to apply for a grant from the Ontario government, and we did get that. It allowed us to like focus on different avenues. So financial literacy, mental health,
Hmm.
entrepreneurship, how to build like your own business, like different aspects that we feel like impacted our community. But also giving away things for free. I think when you run an organization, you
That's
have
nice.
access to like specific spaces. So for example, like the menstrual equity thing that we did, we reached out to Diva Cup and we said, hey, this is a problem that we're seeing in our communities. We would love to partner up with you if you have anything that you want to donate. The price of a Diva Cup in general, I think, is like $15. So if
Okay.
I can remove that and be like, hey, let's just do giveaway, let's give it to you and see um who are the people that are in need. So we offer that, but also encouraging mentorship. I think that's the main goal for us, like partnering up with as many Black women as we can across Canada or even across the world and see if they're willing to give their time back, right? Just to create a space where
Hmm.
like from one Black woman to the other, like I'm just kind of like a relay, passing down the baton. That sounds
Yeah.
cliche, but that's the best analogy I can think of right now, just passing it down to the next generation. That's mainly our thing, just creating a space where we can thrive, right? Whether that be in the shape of a workshop or when we do like our in-person events. So we do have like our Hey Black Girl Fest that we do once a year, and an opportunity to just mingle with other people. Not everything has to be serious and like professional development. Sometimes just, hey, how are you? I want to see another person. We all know how making friends as an adult is extremely
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah.
So if we can create a space where like even if you come alone, that's fine. Like, just come in, have some food, have some conversation, there's music, just be and be free. So those are our two things. We focus on your professional development, but also your personal development. What can we do to make this journey that we call life easier for you, type of
So you
thing.
just mentioned, I guess you have like not a networking event, but that casual one. When you said you have it once a
Hmm.
year, when's the next one going to happen?
So we have it, it's coming up on September
Oh, okay.
27th in the fall. Yeah, we try and do it in the fall because we know summer is very busy for everyone. Like, people have
Mhm.
travel plans and life is just, active in general. So that's our one big event where we're like, you know what, let's invite people to come over, dress how you feel as your best, to just come and mingle and discuss with other people. So it's truly an easy breezy afternoon where we don't really put any expectations on our guests. Truly, it's like it's us providing you the thing. So for this year, we have three different panels, and we're inviting different women from various backgrounds. So we have like VPs of different firms for folks who are interested in like consulting. We have folks who've attended like Ivy League schools coming in to share their tips on like, hey, I got into this school, I got into Cornell, I got into MIT. Let me show you how I
Mm.
got there. Let's talk about your, yeah, like your LSAT. Let's talk about the MCAT. Let's, just sharing tips. And I'm so grateful for all these women choosing to give back their time, because I know people are busy, but that's mainly the vibe of the event. Just an opportunity to get dressed, look cute, look how you feel your best self, and then come and have a lovely afternoon with fellow Black women. All good stuff coming up, but as we roll onto the summer, we tend to also partner up with other Black-led organizations in the city, right? So we have like Realavant, Toad Paint, Ultra Black, any other organization that we feel aligns with our vision. We always reach out and say, hey, let's do something together that we can give back to our community. One thing I'll say is our vision of like what's to come. Like, of course, we're still establishing ourselves as a non-for-profit here within Ontario, or even like Greater Canada in general. But I think for us, ideally, we also want to take it back to our home country. So I'm Congolese. Tanaka is from Zimbabwe. Angela is Kenyan. So there's always a part of us that's like, you're doing great, you're doing good, but let's find a way that we can also extend that to where we come from, or to other like Black communities across the world, right? So what does that look like? That looks like doing a lot of research to seeing whatever need is missing here in Canada doesn't necessarily have to be the same need that's missing in Congo, right? It could be something simpler, or even, I don't know, just a different version of what the community there needs, work together to bring this vision to life here, right? So for me, it's very personal, because I'm like, all the women in my life are pillars. They truly are the leaders in everything that I do. And I'm forever grateful for what they've done for me to be where I am today. So I always try and see like, how can I replicate what you've done for me in our own community? So I think
Wow.
for HPG, in the long run, we want to be branched out in as many spaces as we can across the world, because I think women deserve to be where we are. We deserve to take up the space. So if there's room to do something, why not? And it doesn't even have to be us particularly, but any other organization. If, for example, I go to, let's say, I don't know, Brazil, and there's another organization that's thriving and doing the legwork there, how can we partner up with you to uplift this energy as well, right? Things by Black women for Black women. Yeah.
Beautiful. It's a great note to end off. So I was going to ask you, can you please give us your contact information if we want to get more info from you or know more about you?
Yes, you can follow us on Instagram at Hey Black Girl CA. You can also find us on TikTok at Hey Black Girl CA, or on our LinkedIn at Hey Black Girl. We're always looking for ways to connect with other folks in our community, or even if you're not within our community, if you want to learn more about what we do and see how you can contribute, we are always open to have conversations, whether that be Zoom call, phone call, a DM, an email, whatever that looks like. Please reach out to us, and we'd love to hear from you. Or by email, and I should say our email. So we are Hey Black Girl Inquiries, or our execs at heyblackgirl.ca.
Perfect. Oh, thanks so much for sitting with me, Martina. It was a lovely conversation. I'm glad I got to know more about you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time today. And as always, we'll be there to support you in all that you do.
And you are very supportive. I will say that. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I'd love to hear from you. Send me a message or share your thoughts on social media on my Instagram page at WordsWMichelle, on TikTok at Words with Michelle, and my YouTube channel at Words with Michelle. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a message on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so more listeners can find the show. Until next time, bye.